Sorry, what was the question again? I guess it goes back to getting into freestyle football. At the age of 15, I realised that I wanted to become the best in the world at that sport, at what I did. So I started studying successful people across many industries, no matter whether it's an athlete, a business person, a musician. I just wanted to obtain the knowledge and the mindset they had that got them from the very bottom, from nothing to the top. And for me, that meant studying people like Grant Cardone, for example, who was an entrepreneur, but he came from nothing. Through watching his videos in particular, I was watching it for the mindset, to see how he works, to see his daily habits, his routines. But obviously in his videos, he was talking about real estate. So whilst that didn't apply directly to freestyle football, I was still taking in that knowledge. And I guess that is unknowingly where the gateway opened for me into learning about real estate. So it wasn't intentional, but that's where it started. To be honest, in terms of how I conduct myself within the deal, it's still very similar. I don't by any means regard myself an expert. I don't pretend to know everything. I'm still here, I'm still learning, and I'm still happy to admit that. But one thing I can say for sure is that I have got better. With each deal that I'm doing, I do feel like I'm becoming more competent, more skilled, more knowledgeable, more efficient, and each one's just getting better and better and generating more profit. I guess the biggest learning or mistake you could call it that I feel like I've made has been within my most recent property development. So I took a rundown 3-bedroom property and I was converting it into a 6-bed ensuite HMO, and then I was handing it off, which I've done now, to a charity to help house vulnerable people. So it was a project that meant a lot to me and was going to do like really good things for the neighbourhood. However, my communication to the neighbours was pretty much non-existent. I was going to say poor, but honestly it's been non-existent. And that's a problem because then rumours started to circulate. Like, I don't know how they came about, but people started to say like I was going to house ex-convicts in the house and stuff. It's actually young parents, single mothers that just can't afford the houses. The people in the property will be clean, sober, full-time employed and just trying to get their life back on track. But look, like when I do things like that, I'm just trying to help other people. I'm trying to build the neighbourhood up. So the fact that the neighbours were getting worried, they were getting concerned, rumours were floating around, it upset me because that's not what I want to do. And I think it would have all been fine had my communication with the neighbours been better. So it's a lesson for next time. I guess the biggest piece of advice that I would give for anybody wanting to get into property investing or developing would be to find people that have already done it. Find yourself a mentor, find yourself a friend, find somebody that has been there, done that, made the mistakes, and they can offer you the advice. They can guide you through the journey, because it's one thing reading books, watching videos, but when you get out in the field and problems that you didn't plan for occur, you need someone there even if it's just to bounce ideas off, just to make sure you're still on the right track and that you're handling things correctly, because it can be a lot of pressure on your shoulders if you try to do it alone. That's a good question. I guess probably just confidence. Like, I've not hesitated. I've wanted to get into real estate and I've not dwelled on it. I've not sat thinking, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? People are going to look at me weird because I'm a young girl. I've just gone into it. I've thought, I want to do that. I want to be the best. I'm going to put the work in. Let's go. Do you know what? I guess I'm kind of used to having funny looks or being talked down on or being questioned all the time, because I was a young girl coming up in a football industry. Freestyle football wasn't a profession when I was coming up, so I'm always used to doing something new and having people kind of like put you down and just having to really fight and prove them wrong. So coming into property, to be honest, I haven't found as difficult. I think maybe that's because the skill can't be questioned. You either know your stuff or you don't. You're either smart or you're not, and that can be worked on. So it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, young or old. As long as you know your stuff, you put the work in, you will see the results, and that is what I'm seeing today. Like, don't get me wrong, I still get funny looks. Like when I book in for a viewing to purchase a property or look at a development or meet a builder to get a quote, I think they expect like maybe a 50-year-old man in a suit to turn up, and I turn up in a flashy car in a Lamborghini with jewellery on, this young girl stepping out in a designer brand or something. It is interesting, but look, I'm not here to shrink into a box. Like, I'm here chasing something that interests me. When I'm interested by something, I feel that spark in my soul, I chase it unapologetically and I just go after it. And one thing I always try to do is be myself. So I'll turn up as Liv Cooke. I might even kick a measuring tape on the development site. I'm just here to be me. I'm here to have fun, and I'm willing to put the work in, so the results will come.